I went hands-on with the all-new Pixel 11 devices, the 11, the Pro XL, and the Pro Fold. And look, I'll be straight with you. If you're here for big hardware upgrades this year, it's not happening, right? There are two features though that I'm like, you know what? I can actually see myself using this quite often. But the reason this year looks the way it does is because phones are pretty much like appliances now. The hardware upgrades every year are usually quite small. But Google, being a software company, is leaning into the thing they can actually do very well, which is obviously software. Let's get the hardware out of the way first, okay? Every device is moving to the Tensor G6. Now I know there's a lot of drama around this chip because it's not going to be as fast as some of the Snapdragons out there, which is obviously true. Tensor never has been. But look, Google's saying 20% better power efficiency since it's on a 2nm node, 25% faster browsing, 15% faster app loading over the G5. The number that's actually really important is 50% more TPU compute, because pretty much everything else in terms of software I'm going to show you in this video runs on that, including the camera processing, the on-device Gemini, and the translation stuff. You also get the new Titan M3 security chip, Android 17 out of the box, 7 years of updates, and every single Pixel 11 gets bumped up to 256 gigabytes of base storage. Now, they kind of had to do that because prices are going up across the board this year, including other phone manufacturers. The storage helps, but these phones are getting way too expensive. So the big question I have is, how do you tell the Pixel 11 apart from a Pixel 10? You gotta look at the camera bar. On the 10, the right side has that chrome plating and the glass kind of ends about 3/4 of the way across. On the 11, it's black glass edge to edge, straight into the metal frame. It looks a lot more uniform. And on the base Pixel 11, that bar is the slimmest they've ever done. Throw a case on it and it will almost feel bumpless. And they finally released a matte obsidian color on the Pro models. I'm sure MKBHD will be happy about that. Now there is one new hardware feature, and they're calling it HiLight, and that's on the Pro XL, and the Pro Fold only. The base Pixel 11 will not get this. It's basically a ring of LEDs around the flash. It does two things. One, if a favorite contact calls you, it glows in a color you picked for them. That works with Phone by Google and WhatsApp. And it pulses when Gemini is listening or thinking or responding. Honestly, it's a progress indicator on the back of your phone. Look, it's fine. It's not why you buy this thing. It's not going to change the world, and no other apps can hook into it yet. Now, I don't know if they're going to open that up to other developers at some point, but I really hope they do. The one thing I will say though, that it's built to work with flip to sh, okay? So when the phone's face down on a table, notifications are off, the light will notify you in case you want to answer the call. All right, we gotta talk about these cameras because this is probably where the bigger hardware upgrade is. On the Pro and the Pro XL, you've got a 50 megapixel main on a 1/1.3 inch sensor. Google's calling that sensor new, but the Pixel 10 Pro's main was also 1/1.3. So it might be new silicon at the same size, but new is a bit of a stretch. The one thing that actually got upgraded though is the telephoto. Completely redesigned, it's 48 megapixels now, and it pulls in 32% more light than last year. Now that's a big jump, and telephoto is exactly where you'll notice it the most because zoom is the first thing that falls apart at night. Zoom also goes up to 120 times, from 100 last year on the Pro models. Now on the base Pixel 11 and the Fold, you're getting a 48 megapixel main on a 1/1.56 inch sensor, so 56% more light. And this one's gonna be important, because remember the Pixel 10 shrank its main sensor to make room for a telephoto, and a lot of people were not happy about that? Google's walking that back, okay? You keep the telephoto and you get the bigger main sensor now. Super zoom on the Pixel 11 and Pro Fold goes up from 20 times to 30 times. Selfie cameras, Pro and Pro XL jump to 42 megapixels. Base Pixel 11 is still on 10.5. And instant night sight, the 4.5 times faster one, that's Pro and Pro XL only. All right. The stuff that actually got worse, because there is some, and first is the batteries. The base Pixel 11 actually goes up a little, which is not bad, that's the good part, 4970 to 4985. But the Pros drop from 4870 to 4850. The Pro XL goes from 5200 down to 5115, and the Fold takes the biggest hit overall, 5015 down to 4750. Now Google's saying all of these still do 30 plus hours, 24 plus on the Fold, and I kind of believe them because a more efficient chip does make up for a smaller cell, but man, it would be so much better if they could just give us the efficient chip and the bigger battery. The second thing is the RAM. The Pro and the Pro XL now start at 12 gigs. Last year they started at 16. You can still get 16, you just gotta buy up to a more expensive tier for it. And the base Pixel 11 specifically, still Wi-Fi 6E, second year in a row. Still 3000 nits, while the Pros go up to 3600. Still 60 to 120 Hertz instead of 1 to 120. Still that 10.5 megapixel selfie. It's basically a Pixel 10 with a better main sensor and double the storage. Now, quick thing on the Fold, because a lot of you are asking what actually changed. It looks the same. Well, it kind of isn't. It went from 258 grams down to 239, and you're gonna feel it, barely. Folded, it's 10.1 millimeters instead of 10.8, and opened up, it's 5 millimeters instead of 5.2. Still not where the Z Fold is, but it's slowly moving in the right direction. Google's also saying it's 3 times stronger with a new hinge, and it folds completely flat now. Cover screen's the bigger deal though. It's up to 6.5 inches, up 0.1. And it's a super actual panel now, 1 to 120 Hertz, 3600 nits under a glass ceramic cover. First time the outer screen has ever gotten that. And the crease, the biggest question, it's still there. It's better than last year, but not significantly better. And it's nowhere good compared to the Fold 8 or the Fold 8 Ultra. They still got work to do, but at least 16 gigabytes of RAM is standard on the Pro Fold. All right, we gotta talk about software because this is the actual new features to these devices. The first one is Magic Capture. One swipe in the camera app, you shoot a video, it processes, and then it pulls the best frames out as actual photos. Crops in on the subject, unblurs them, become ready to post. Now, for me, the use case is pretty obvious, right? Like I shoot a lot of video on the phone, I pull my thumbnail out of the same take, and I don't have to take a separate photo. Is it life-changing for everybody? No, but for what I do, it could come in handy. The second thing that surprised me was translation, or live translation. It translates video on the fly and overlays it. I'm not talking about with words, I'm talking about with voice. We tested it on a Spanish video, a YouTube video, and look, translation's not new, but here's what got me. It copies the person's voice. So they're speaking English now, but they still sound like them.
To support the creators who are taking their first steps on YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
Our goal is to help you get the most out of your YouTube channel with the help of AI. My name is Oliva Karkar. I am responsible for engineering at YouTube Iberia, and I help media
and the latency was low enough that it just felt like watching a video instead of watching some robot lag 3 seconds behind. There's also a new teleprompter app, or feature rather, in the new Creator tab. You paste your script in, it overlays it while you record, and it follows your voice. You stop talking, it stops scrolling. You start talking, and it matches the words that you're speaking on the screen. Google literally just destroyed a bunch of teleprompter apps on the Play Store. But my favorite new feature is called Rambler. If you've ever used Whisperflow, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. Normal voice typing tries to transcribe you word for word, and every time you back up and start the sentence over, all of it gets recorded. Rambler just takes all of that and organizes it, cleans up the spelling, puts the periods in, breaks it into bullets if it needs to. You just talk and clean text comes out.
Remind me to pick up milk, cheese, 2 avocados, and 3 oranges. Oh, actually I need 3 avocados and I don't need milk.
And look, I think this really matters because it's baked into the keyboard. This is not a separate app, not part of a subscription. Every text field on the phone. To me, this is one software feature I can see myself using every single day. All right, so that's the Pixel 11 lineup. Minor hardware, cameras are actually slightly better, couple steps back on battery and RAM, and a pretty strong year for software, I guess. They also introduced a camera looks feature. Think of these as filters similar to what Apple and Samsung offer on their phones. Not a big year for Pixel hardware changes, and Google is really just focusing on software, which is what they tend to do the best. I'm sure some of these new software features will make its way onto the Pixel 10 at some point, and possibly other Android phones. Now, I'm gonna be reviewing as much of these as I can, so make sure to get subscribed for that. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.